Oh man, I'll tell you what. It's like Groundhog Day sometimes, but it's not like Groundhog Day. It's like Groundhog weeks or months. It's like the same cycles going same, on the same routine. So I was talking to this girl I know, who's also a friend of Aaron and I's, and then one of our other close personal friends. And first, let me say our close personal friend's a guy, and he divulged that he is on Tinder. Now, this is a guy who you would be like, there's no reason for him to be on Tinder looking for, Mrs., his last name. and, but that's where we're at in this country. That is where we are at. We got good, well-to-do men who are on, you know, I don't say social media, but I mean, it is social media, but like on more or less like hookup apps, trying to find the one for them. Because I mean, he's already gone out and done the bar scene. Not as hard as myself or my boy Schaefer, but he's he, he's out here, man. It's just like because when he said it, he was like, "Yeah, I'm in the because he used to live in our city. He moved away. He used to live in Indy. He moved away. Um, and he moved away, and he's like, yeah, like there's girls in this town, but I can, I'm not finding what I'm looking for. And he divulged, he's like, yeah, are you guys like he didn't say are you familiar with Tinder, but he was like, yeah, I'm on Tinder, and I'm just seeing the clientele up here, and I'm like, oh man, this dude's on Tinder. No, I'm like, my boy's about to get hooked up with a single mom or something, but not that there's anything terrible about single moms. It's just that he doesn't have any kids, he's never been married. And single moms come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes and different levels of baggage. So, that's not really for him. So anyway, he was telling me he was on Tinder, and I'm just like, all right, cool. But this is how Tinder operates. This is what you're probably gonna find. This is what Tinder's bringing to the table that nobody really wants to tell you about. And it's like he's like, yeah, I'm kind of seeing that, but I don't know. Like he was cute. I was kind of just giving him tips, and Aaron was giving him tips because Aaron's done the online dating routine, not Tinder, but the website online dating, and he was kind of just letting him know. We were just letting him know the reality of the situation, and he sent us a screenshot. I'm gonna see if I can try to find it right here. Because he sent it on my he sent it while I was at work, so really get to it. Oh, here it is. All right, so there's this chick who looks like she's moderately attractive, and he sent us a screenshot after they matched, and this is a direct quote. It says, "Hey, what's going on? Love the pics. Not looking for anything serious. Are you? Just looking for fun. Want to meet up ASAP Tuesday? Can you? You want to just text me?" Then she gives her phone number. His response: "Hey, thanks. Awesome pics that you have too. I'm actually looking for something serious. Not that I don't like to have fun, or not that I don't like fun." And it's like, see, this is what was going on. My boy, and then he texted me afterwards. Um, this is why, John, I despair sometimes, if ever, finding a good woman in our generation. If I'll ever find a good woman in our generation. He didn't say that, but I gotta clean up his text. Put it in English. But yeah, man, it's just like you know, I'm just beside myself, man, because this is what good guys have to. This is what we're navigating. And I was talking to a lady from church just yesterday, and we've had conversation after conversation after conversation after conversation about generate like what our generation's on. And she's like, well, why don't you guys just do this? Why don't you guys just do that? That's what we did back in our day. And she's even tried to account for the fact of, the region she grew up in, the era and all this other stuff. And she's like, you guys are making this way more complicated than it has to be. And I just gave her the truth. I'm like, this is what a generation raised on feminism looks like. You know, women always think that they have all these options, that they'll have all these options forever. And then when reality hits that, you know, okay, you don't have options and guys do have a certain standard and there's certain stuff that good men won't put up with. Well, see, they had already messed up by that point, you know, like, and by messed up, I mean, they've already waited till they were, you know, 35 years old to try to lock down a guy. You know, they haven't taken care of themselves because, you know, feminism's told them that they're women and they're beautiful no matter what. You know, they got a couple kids out of wedlock, or they're got some kids from a divorce, or, you know, and when good men like, you know, my boys, like, you know, no, I'm not really, you know, looking for that. Then, you know, the women are quick to judge them and charge them. It's just like, now wait a minute, go back to before you had kids and before you know, got divorced, and, you know, back when you were in his situation. Were you trying to lock down a dude who had baby mama drama and all these girls in and out of his house and all this? It's just like, no, you weren't. So don't sit here and charge him with that like he's out of line, you know? And, you know, it's just a shame. It is just a daggone shame, man, because, you know, ourselves as Christians, and Aaron's warned us of this, and Aaron's even mentioned this in some of our videos. He didn't go into detail, but it's like, there's not, we're at a point where the feminism has such infected our culture that people don't even realize what's feminism and what's normal. And what I mean by that is this: it's like, what's normal is that, men pursue women. Men are the leaders, men are the providers, blah, 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 blah. But feminism is taught that, women are just like men and women are equal. Therefore, women are to behave like men. But then when men take a back seat to that, like, oh, okay, well, if they're told that to pursue us, then we're just going to hang back. But then women are still holding on to their biological imperative of let the man pursue you. And it's just like, well, who's going to talk to who first? And then, yeah, some people jump over. Some guys are like, oh, I'm going to pursue her. Then some girls are like, yeah, I'm going to pursue him. But it's like, okay, on certain individual cases that can work, but as a general standard, that's not going to work, and then that's when, and then let's quickly address hookup culture of, girls go to college, and just after college, and they go through this partner and that partner and this partner and that partner and this partner and that partner. And then once their numbers start getting up there and guys are like, nah, you've been with too many dudes, it's just like, I'm good. And that's when girls start lying, and I've even talked to girls. They're like, yeah, whatever a girl says, double it. And that's her real number. I'm like, I don't know if I want to double some of the chicks who I think have been honest with me in their number. And it's, because, let's just say the most innocent of women who I can account for, if you doubled her number, you're probably you are safely into the teens, but you're pushing 20. Let me, and I'll leave that at that. And that's what I mean. And she's not, and like I said, that's the most innocent. And it's just like, man, and then that's when girls start lying. But then out here in the game, you got guys like me who, we talk to chicks. We're very aware of female behavior. And if you come at me and sit here and tell me that your number's like 4 or 5, and I watch your behavior, I'm like, nah, you show the behavior of a chick who's been with 13 to 16 dudes. Like, don't sit there and lie to me like that. It's just like, and then immediately right there, the trust is broken, because you lied. Then the guy found out about it, and then it's like, well, why are we having troubles in our relationship, and why doesn't he trust me, and why, and I think he's texting some other girl or some other girl on the side, or he doesn't feel like he's totally engaged in our relationship. It's like, yeah, I know. It's like, it's because somewhere along the line he's caught onto a lie that you've gotten so used to telling that you just, to you it's just, just say this so he won't leave, and then we'll go from there, and everything will be okay. And again, it's like, no, that's not how trust works. Like, you got to be open and you got to be honest, and if your behavior is ratchet behavior, then, you got to own that. It's like, this is what you were on, and if a guy doesn't want to accept that, then you got to move on. And, just don't sit here and lie about it like, oh, well, I still want to be Cinderella or Princess Jasmine, so I'm going to lie so, Prince Charming or Aladdin will come, wife me up. And it's just like, nah, if you're pushing or are the town bicycle, then no, you don't deserve Prince Charming. That's just what it is. And again, like these dudes out here, I'm not trying to just hold women accountable. These guys out here who are running through women. It's like you don't deserve, the princess who's only been with one or two guys or no guys, after your numbers are hitting the double digits and triple digits in some cases. I mean, that's like probably porn star levels. That's probably an over-exaggeration. But, it's just like, man, people are out here believing all of this crap about how you can just be totally irresponsible and totally not think about the future. And then once you start, looking at your biological clock and like, oh, wait a minute, I need to not act like a clown anymore. I need to stop acting like a hooligan. I need to stop acting like a trollop or a sleazy woman. Let me act like I'm okay. And it's like, you see, the damage has already been done. And not to get on a preaching rant, but I'm just going to say this is like, the only way you can really heal yourself of that is through the blood of Christ and God. And I know a lot of you probably don't want to hear that for our non-Christian listeners, but it is what it is. I mean, obviously the program that you've been doing isn't working. So why continue to double and triple and quadruple down on that? It's just like, it's like the person with the gambling problem. It's just like, if going all in didn't work the first 5 or 6 hands, why are you going to go in on the, 6th and 7th? It's like, how dumb are you? But hey, but again, this is what people are on. This is what our culture is on. And like, and it's like I say, it's Groundhog week, month, year. They're just like, people just keep, it's like, well, maybe this time the same actions will turn out well. And it's like, no, it won't. Because people have really bought into the hookup culture, the feminism, the, everything is awesome. It's like, okay. And then when people get out here and they get jaded and they get scorned and they get mad and they wonder why their relationships keep failing. And it's just like, I direct you to your early 20s. I direct you to your mid 20s. I direct you to your late 20s. It's just like, and in some cases, for some people, I direct you to your 30s, your mid 30s, and your late 30s. It's like, your ratchet behavior, man. It's like ratchetness attracts ratchetness. I mean, like these are, not only biblical principles, but these are principles that you can live out, and you should see some of these principles after you're like, 20 to 25 years old. Just like, and if you can't notice it, then you're just not paying attention, and that's probably part of a lot of y'all's problem, but or a lot of people's problem. I can't say y'all because we all have our different degrees of ratchetness, so I don't want to sound judgmental, but it's like this is we are reaping what we've sown, and that's why it really does break my heart to sit here and see my boy on Tinder like this and whatnot, but. Anyway, I say all that to really get to this topic is that after a conversation me and my boy had about him being on Tinder and what to look out for and what he's probably going to run into, and me and Aaron were going back and forth, and he was just like, man, this is, he didn't say it, but it's he kind of had this tone of I gotta I gotta pursue women more aggressively. I mean, that's probably the best way to say it. And, he's right, but, it's just like going to Tinder is, the more aggressive stuff going on, I mean, and I'm just like, man, I just don't even know. Then me and Aaron talked about how, the online dating community has changed because, well, let me back up. Aaron talked about how the online dating community has changed from the time he got on to the time he really hit it hard to the time he got off and then once and then got back on. And then I told my boy that I'll join him on Tinder. So just to kind of see what's going on. And man, this app has changed because I was on it a year ago just for a month to prove a point to one of my female friends. And speaking of which, I got another female friend who I'm going to prove another point to because I logged back on and I showed her like this is the male side of what people are on out here, and she's like, oh my God, this is terrifying. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Like this is what this is what people are on. You know, and there's another girl who was with us, and you know, she said her best friend was like, you know, big into Tinder. Like she knew all the stuff that I was talking about. She's like, yep, keep talking. I'll stop you when you're lying. You know, it's just like, man, this is just, oh goodness, you know. But I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to wrap up by saying, I'm back on Tinder, but I'm only going to do it for a little while. A little while probably means about a month. And again, it's Groundhog Day. I log on, I started swiping right on, like, I was selective at first, but then I'm like, oh, wait, I got to do what I did last time. I just got to start swiping. And apparently Tinder has updated their little algorithm or whatever they got going on out here, because you can't just continue to swipe right. Because I swiped right, when I was on here a year ago. Just going over and over and over and over again about, or I just kept swiping right on kind of like whatever was going on, and they stopped it where you can't do that. I'm on it right now, so I'm kind of stuttering because it's like, what's going on right now? But yeah. So for my personal friends, if you're on Tinder and you see me, that's what's going on. I'm here with my boy, coaching them through it, trying to see what's going on. Like they stopped it to where you can't keep swiping right, or else they make you start over. They got this thing called super like now, which I guess that notifies the person that you liked them. I guess, and then you got to pay to. They got like Tinder Plus now. You got to pay for like, what was it, unlimited swipes and stuff. It's like, goodness gracious, like. I don't know. But see, I guarantee you men found that out, and that's what men were doing. They were just going on here, swiping right, and then whatever fish they pulled up, that's who they went with. And it's just like, oh my goodness. So yeah, it's funny that when men get on these websites to find little holes in the system to their advantage, all of a sudden now you got to pay for a subscription, and you got to this, that, and the other, even though women are out here doing the same thing. But, and again, online dating is very, 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 very female friendly, and it is a mountainous effort for men, because women are just sitting here being selective, because men are on here like, oh, let's play where you can meet girls, because you can't meet girls in real life anymore, because then it's creepy and weird, and why are you talking to me, and I'm trying to hang out with my girls and all this other stuff. And it's like, see, this is why people go online, and of course, under the illusion of being anonymous online now, that's when girls' ratchet behavior comes out. And then, and again, it just tails right back to feminism. It's like, well, I can do what I want, and you shouldn't judge me, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, be it you're judging men off of their, what kind of car they drive, what house they live in, et cetera, and so forth. But yet you don't want to be judged off of your sexual history, what you look like, what domestic skills you don't have. It's like... Oh man, and again, I can't. I say this a lot in my private conversations, so I'll say it here. It's just like, women don't want to be judged by the female standard, but they want to keep men accountable and judged to the male standard. And they always want the bar at its lowest point, so all of them make it. But then they keep the bar, as high as they can push it for men. It's like, I mean, y'all know I have some of these, made up, archetypes and stereotypical names, it's like, all girls want the bar super low so that them and their friends can make it, like, even Fat Karen. Fat Karen's not an actual person, but, I just say Fat Karen because we all know, like, there's the fat, nasty chick who walks around, and yeah, she may be nice, but she's ugly, and everyone knows it, but no one says anything because, she's helped everyone out at one point, or she's just a nice person. So no one says anything, but they say, well, she deserves a Prince Charming too, but no one wants to go into what her Prince Charming is really going to look like. It's like, no, she's going to marry, Big Kenny, it's like, but see, no one wants to say that. It's like, yeah, but see, no one likes Big Kenny. It's like, yeah, Big Kenny's fat. He smells kind of weird. Can't hold a job. It's like, yeah, that's who Fat Karen's supposed to be with. But girls, they have that, empathetic. It's like, oh no, you deserve the guy with the big muscles on the white horse and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, no, y'all need to stop lying to Fat Karen. She ain't gonna get that, and y'all know she ain't gonna get that. And y'all filling her head talking about that she deserves that, is part of the problem. It's so a part of the problem because, again, I retired from the club game. because it's just out of control. Because again, I am. Let me say what Aaron would say. He's like, I'm like an 8, 7 or an 8, but yet everyone's telling me that I need to give Fat Karen a chance. And it's like, nah. See, and this is why. It's because as soon as I walk in with Fat Karen, then every girl in there expectations immediately shoots through the roof. They're like, oh, well, if Fat Karen can get John, then, oh, I'm definitely not settling, because I'm better than her, because I'm thin, I'm pretty, I have my hair and nails done, I got heels on, I got this. And then it's like, okay, now she won't settle for anything less than the guy with a master's or a PhD, speaks 5 languages, has traveled the world, is a multimillionaire, has, exotic cars. It's just like, see, it's off the chain. It is off the chain out here in this dating world. Like, that's why I left. I'm like, I'm not MGTOW, and MGTOW is the dumbest. That's y'all know my thoughts on MGTOW. It's totally contradictory to progress human society, and it's an individual solution that they somehow try to spread around to everyone, but say that they're not. Like, I don't know. It's just the MGTOW community's on one. Again, let's say it's male feminism. But anyway, I'm not gonna go off on that. Y'all can look at my videos or listen to my videos on that. So. But yeah, it's like this is what we're on out here, man. We got my boy on Tinder. He got me back on Tinder. The chick who I showed on Tinder, she's on Tinder. She's like, this is terrifying. Like, the guy she's going through, she's sending me screenshots, and she's like, oh my God, I matched with somebody. I'm like, But, yeah, it's real out here. It is, I mean, we got well-to-do, good salt of the earth Christian people, talking about being on Tinder and going on Tinder. And I'm like, oh my good, like this is where we're at. This is where we're at. This is what we're on. This is what we're doing, and everyone always wants to charge, the Christians, like, well, why don't you guys just meet good Christian people? It's just like, see, that's the thing. The women have adopted feminism. So, what we're going to, church groups trying to avoid is still there. It's just like, oh yes, a woman should be submissive, but I'm gonna have my own job, my own house, my own career. I'm gonna travel the world and serve the Lord, and he'll materialize a husband for me out of the ancient Amazon mists. It's like, what? It's like, no, that dude who keeps talking to you, that's your husband. He's a Christian. You met him at church. Shut up and, date. It's just like, goodness gracious. But they don't want that, man. They don't want that. They think that they have forever because, they're a woman and they're killing it in the game and they're young. And it's just like, it's just more of the problem. It's more of the problem. But anyway, oh, goodness, 22 minutes. Well, yeah, that's my video. John from the Gen XY. And I'll hold on. Before I go, I'm gonna say I'm gonna upload. I'm gonna do another video on all of this stuff, and what I mean by that is I'm gonna keep track of what my boy and what our female friend is running across on Tinder. And like I said, I came back on Tinder too, so I'll show what I've been running across already, and I'll say this: I've already gotten a match, and yes, it's more of the same. 30-year-old single mom. It's like, it's Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day out here, man. I'm telling you, it's just like, yep. Like, as soon as I log back on Tinder, because I've been on Tinder probably about 3 days now. Again, if you see me out there, that's what I'm doing for my personal friends. I'm not serious. I'm not out here serious on those actual Tinder stuff. I've already done Tinder. Again, it leads nowhere. I still haven't done my Tinder video. Anyway, I'll do that later. So, about my Tinder date last year. Man, it's been a year. It's been over a year already, because that was last February. But, yeah, man, it's just, I'll keep everybody posted. I'll tell my boy, like, hey, when you get hits and stuff, update me, show me some screenshots of what's going on out there, where you're at. And, and the girl, she's still here, in Indy. And it's just like, yeah, tell me the dudes you're seeing. Because, I mean, like, she's getting everything from the guys with the muscle shirts to the guys who are holding up pictures of puppies being just extra feminine. And she's like, this is terrifying. I'm like, this is what the world is on. Because she has a job where she pretty much just works and go to church. And she hangs out with a small group of people. But, almost like, this is what the rest of the world is on. This is why you see me and Aaron, you'll hollering and screaming online about what's going on out here. But... yeah. So, Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. I'll keep you guys informed. I'll do a longer form, a longer video about just what all's out here and what all we're going through and what else going on. So yeah, that's my video, John from the Gen XY.